Hey guys, this is Adam from the Dimensional Gaming Squad here, bringing you with a brand new video to the channel. This is continuing on from a series which I've started, I think maybe over a month ago now. And this is the third episode to it. And the series is my top 10 Pokemon of each type. The third episode out of 18, and since you know we're going alphabetically, you know that we're the Dragon type. What do I say? Dragon types, like for pretty much everyone, there's always going to be a dragon type that everyone likes. For some people, it's Salamence. For other people, it's Garchomp. For other people, God forbid, it'll be Giratina or Zygarde or something. Some people say Rayquaza. There's also Hydreigon for the fact of how overpowered it is. Haxorus. Heck, maybe even Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. And don't forget the most recent best dragon type, Ultra Necrozma. I'm just going to say, Lucas, you finally understand how hard it is. Still should have beaten Necrozma with the team that you had gone through the game with instead of traded Pokemon, because then it would be more deserving of a victory. My personal opinion, I said that to him multiple times. Still doesn't listen, but I don't care. That's in the past. Had more tragic things happen in the last week. So, yeah, we're back with a new video, and this is my top 10 favourite dragon types, plus honourable mentions. Don't even know why I say plus honourable mentions. There's always going to be in any top 10 I do. So let's get right into this. Honourable mentions include Kingdra, Rayquaza, and Giratina. Rayquaza, I love the design out of the most out of these three. Like, who doesn't like a green serpentine Pokemon, clearly based off the Chinese dragon, just a different colour, and that happens to be one of my favourite colours. Like, look, green on the curtain, and every now and then you see green on the wall in the background. Not today, because it's actually very dark out right now when I'm recording. Giratina, the backstory is the best, and the backstory is the best out of all these Pokemon, and is technically the devil Pokemon. It's in an alternate universe sent there by God, like the devil. And its Pokedex entry, this may sound a bit meaningless to some people, but for some reason I find the word renegade a very intriguing word to describe this Pokemon. I'm not the best when it comes to describing words. I mean, I failed English twice. Renegade is probably one of my favourite words to say and hear because of how evil it kind of makes the thing it's describing is. That didn't make much sense, but like I said, I can't speak very well. And then there's Kingdra. Kingdra, I had great experiences with it, and its ability Sniper increases its chance to get a critical hit, which is very helpful, and give it a move which also has a high chance of giving it a critical, which also has a high chance of landing a critical hit. You basically just guaranteed a critical hit every time you use that move, apart from maybe 1 or 2 times, but who's counting? Come on! Okay, moving on to the top 10 now. Now we're going to move on to the dragon types, which are great, and I need to have a reason for putting here. This isn't as long as an introduction as the last top 10 was. That last top 10 lasted a while. Okay, 10th place, Goodra. Now, Goodra was around the 6 or 7 mark when I first made this list. But that was before I saw it in the Kalos League anime. And if you've seen the Kalos League anime, the creators of that decided it'd be a good idea to make Ash's only Pokemon to get a 100% win streak until then seem absolutely useless, tying with one Pokemon, being the Fairy type, and being one-shotted by another. And that is one of the reasons why it's down there. And then comparing that dragon type to all the other dragon types that are further on this list, I prefer their designs over Goodra's, and its way to evolve from a Sliggoo into Goodra is just very tedious. Because you need it to be raining and to level up to level 50. Which doesn't sound that bad, but unless you have Rain Dance, it is very hard. Because there's rarely any places that can let you do that. And then there's trouble finding it, especially in Sun and Moon, where it's an SOS battle in the lush jungle during rainy weather. And if I remember correctly, it was natural rainy weather. It was so hard to find. And the fact I didn't even think about trading the Pokemon over from my Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire via Pokebank onto it, because I didn't have Pokebank then. I actually had to get my friend Brandon to breed his one that he caught at the beginning of this journey. And yeah, so that's how I got a Goodra, and it was absolutely annoying. And when I use it, it keeps getting one-shotted. So why would I want that? I had bad experiences with it in Sun and Moon. It was great in the anime before Kalos League. And its moveset is okay. But the way of evolving it is probably the part where I'm like, this is where I draw the line. And leave it there. So that's why Goodra's in 10th place. Still better than Giratina and Rayquaza, however. And that's where I'm going to get some comments saying, hey, you're wrong. This is my opinion, okay? I'm entitled to my opinion. Someone out there is going to say, no, you're not. You have to listen to my opinion. And I know that because in the last video I made of this was on a different channel, way before I changed that name to just my regular name. And the comments I got from there is like, you are so wrong about your ranking. And looking back at it, my opinion has changed because I don't remember much from it. But my number one for grass types was Chikorita then. And it was absolutely adorable, and I still have a soft spot for it. Okay, so I just heard a little tinkle up there. Hope my doggos are being well behaved. Moving on to number 9. A dragon type which I originally did not like. But shown to grow a bit of fondness over the last few battles I had with it. And how much it completely wrecked the opponents I've gone against with it, that being Brandon, Reese, and Lucas. And that's Dragonite. Well, first of all, Dragonite's moveset is insane. It can learn all the elemental punches. With it being a physical attacker, give it obviously Dragon Claw. There's good flying type moves. It can learn Fly, obviously. I think it can learn Sky Drop. I'm not sure on that one though. It can learn Waterfall, Ice Punch. I'm not actually sure if it can learn that one actually, but I know it can learn Thunder Punch and Fire Punch. I mean, like, I got hit by Thunder Punch in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That was so annoying. Wait, did I? I got hit by an electric move in that battle. I can't remember if it was Thunder Punch, but yeah. It can learn such an array of moves, which just makes this unpredictable to know what it's going to use. And I think the most scary part about it is that it's the original Dragon type, and it was the best Dragon type until Gen 3 came along, just shoving a bunch of other Dragon types in there, including Dragon type legendaries like Rayquaza, and that's it. There was Salamence that came in Gen 3. There was Flygon. I'm sure there are others. Don't question me on this, please. I can't remember any of them. But Dragonite always stood out to me as the original Dragon type, because it was the only fully evolved Dragon type there. And I think there's another part that was very scary about it, and that's even Gold, Silver, Crystal, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you go against the champion who has 3 Dragonites. And you're like, oh god, it's hard enough to take down 1. Just taking down 3. God's sake, this is hard. It is. And then you just roll on, and then you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. Rematch. There's 1 Dragon type, but that one's like in the 70s, or maybe 80s. Probably 70s, because I think the highest level NPC Pokemon, Heart Gold, Soul Silver's Red's Pikachu. So Dragonite, okay design, I guess. I preferred its serpentine design for the fact I'm really a big fan of snakes, snake-like Pokemon or serpent-like Pokemon. Dragonite kind of ruined it for me. That's why it's down here. But the fact that it's one of the best Dragon types I've ever used, along great experiences with it rather recently, I had to give it number 9. Moving on to number 8, we have... I'm not even sure how to describe this one. I'm going to say probably the most unique out of all the Dragon types for its design. And probably it is the newest one on this list. I haven't had a bad experience of it yet. But something tells me I'm going to have a bad experience with it when I go against it with my Rock and Ice type Monotype teams. And that is Kommo-o. Kommo-o. And none of my Pokemon there can take a fighting type attack, that's why. Kommo-o. Design is unique, and I like it for that. I originally didn't, but then I was like, actually it doesn't look that bad. Its Z-move is probably one of my favourite ones to use. And I haven't had as many good experiences with it in battle as Dragonite or other Pokemon that'll be on this list later. But its moveset is still rather great. And it was on my original Sun and Moon team that won me the game. And it's one of my... I think it was the fourth Pokemon that I got to level 100 in Sun and Moon as well. And I still have it to this day. It's actually in one of my teams. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet because I have this little league kind of thing where you just go through a variety of monotype teams, and then you get to the Elite Four team, which is multi-type. Then Champion, which is also multi-type. I believe the second Elite Four member, I actually can't remember, though I know one of them is, though, has that Kommo-o on. And it is one of my favourite Pokemon to use in that team. But there is a Greninja and Sceptile and Salazzle, so... Not my favourite, but whatever. It's close enough to one of the best Pokemon to use in that team. Moving on, we have number 7 being the only legendary on the top 10 list, being Zekrom. I don't know why, I fell in love with Zekrom as soon as I saw it. It actually got me into playing Pokemon Black and White. I was kind of annoyed it was legendary because I'm not really a big fan of legendaries, but this is where I have to make an exception for it being probably one of the coolest looking ones. Like, the fact that its eyes are red and its scales, I'm tempted to say it's black. Well, I'm not even sure if it's scales, but it's black. It reminds me of the Red Eyes Black Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I have heard of it. I'm like, okay, that has to be a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Reshiram is a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which everyone should know by if they played at least or heard about Yu-Gi-Oh! Blue Eyes White Dragon. So I named my Zekrom after that when I caught it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And the moveset isn't as good, but it is rather strong when it comes to using it in battle. I have a particular friend who likes using it a bit too much, with it being fused with Kyurem or not. He likes using it too much, and I still have yet to beaten it. I think I beaten it maybe 1 or 2 times, but I wouldn't say that's actually legit. I think that has to do with him just misclicking a few times, and that I don't really count that as like a way to win a battle. I said it's just a way of him fluking just so I can win. So you should know who you are. I'm not going to say your name because we haven't mentioned you at all on this channel. I'm not going to. But you should know who you are. Zekrom. If you're watching, I want a rematch against that Zekrom. But yeah, Zekrom. Great moveset, great design, and I have played only Pokemon Black, so I have gone against it instead of catching it. So unfortunately, that is really upsetting. But the way it appears in the finale in End's Castle is just probably one of the most badass moments in any Pokemon game. And to add that along with the story to Pokemon Black, it's like a cherry on top of a perfect cake, with the inside being the Pokemon, which taste, or in our view, look terrible. There's Emboar, Mashana, I really hate to say this, Garbodor. I really actually like Garbodor. But yeah. But then there are some flavours in there that makes it look, that presents this figurative cake delicious, like tasteful, tolerable. Yeah, tolerable. Like Zoroark, Zekrom, Hydreigon for crying out loud, and Haxorus. And then there's characters on that, which is like the frosting to go around that cherry on that story. Being N, older, some of the gym leaders. Just ignore the first 3 gym leaders. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff in Pokemon Black, which makes it a great game. Just really underrated because of some of the Pokemon being in there, being rather bad. Moving on to number 6, we have a Gen 6 Dragon type. And if I'm correct, since I said Zekrom's the only legendary, there's only 2 other Dragon types left. And this is the only Gen 6... Oh, wait, never mind. But there's 3 Dragon types left, I think. And this is one of the last 3 remaining. And that's Noivern. Noivern. This was my favourite Dragon type. But I think the same reason for Goodra, it just kind of fell flat in the Kalos League. And the fact, even though it is fully evolved when it got to the Kalos League, it just seemed to be acting like a child. Not as bad as other Pokemon that's been acting like a child when they evolve. But I think it's just been treated as a child. I get it was hatched from an egg and Ash doesn't want any major harm to it. But I still think that, okay, it's fully evolved, you should put it in more battles. No. The best battle it went against was against the Zapdos, which it barely won. I don't think it even won that. Moving on to number 5, we have Tyrantrum, the last Gen 6 Dragon type on this list. Tyrantrum. I think the same reason why this is Lucas's favourite rock type. It's a mofo T-Rex. That's what I'm going to say, it's a T-Rex. As soon as you see it, you instantly think of Jurassic Park. When that T-Rex broke out of its cage, roars into the camera, and eats that lawyer off the toilet. And that's not the only reason why it's there. Like, unlike Lucas for it being his favourite rock type, but the reason why Tyrantrum is here is because I'm actually using one now, my rock type mono run. Haven't evolved it yet, but hopefully it'll be good when it evolves. I hope so, because my rock types are doing rather bad, because none of them have evolved. There's the only useful one's Aerodactyl, but yeah. Tyrantrum, its moveset is great. It can learn most of the elemental Fang moves. I don't think it can learn Ice Fang. I'll be surprised if it can, but I'm not really going to teach it that. And with its ability being Strong Jaw, you're basically forced to give it Crunch. And since its other types are Rock and Dragon, you have to give it that for stab moves. And then you have one remaining move, which I reckon maybe an elemental Fang move or Stealth Rock, to either gain that ability on Strong Jaw or do some damage to all your opponent's Pokemon when each of them come out. So it's entirely up to you what you do, but that's just moveset for my Tyrantrum. Design is great. Evolution is a rather low level compared to most Dragon types, so I'm actually really content with that. And then that's pretty much it. Moving on. Number 4, Flygon. Like Noivern, this was my favourite Dragon type. But then it kind of went down for me because as newer generations came in, I started to forget about Flygon just slowly and gradually. And when I do use it, it does do some damage. but it doesn't do enough for me to actually go like, wow, this is actually really impressive. It's just, okay, you did some damage, go and join Jigglypuff in the fainted Pokemon section. Okay, maybe not Jigglypuff, but still, it doesn't do enough work for me. I like its design, I like its entire evolution line, for a matter of fact. And I think the concept it's based off is actually pretty cool. Like most people, I agree it should be a bug type instead of dragon, but I'm not going to complain. At least it added a spot on the dragon type list that could have been Tyrantrums, and Giratina could have got 10th. But whatever. I like Flygon. I like its colour. Obviously, green. I think its shiny is kind of bad, though, along with Noivern's. Noivern's shiny is terrible. But Flygon's is okay, but not good either. Moving on to another Pokemon with its shiny being absolutely terrible. And this is number 3. Hydreigon. Okay, before you can say anything, yes, I know Hydreigon's shiny is green. But it's like that ugly colour green that you just don't want to see. Because it's like a really dark bush colour green. And it doesn't go well with black or brown. Whatever colour you like to call Hydreigon's fur. It just doesn't fit well with this at all, and I hate it for that. But other than that, Hydreigon's design is amazing. I hate the level that you evolve Zweilous into Hydreigon. But when you do, it's an absolute powerhouse. Like I said, design amazing. Evolution method, okay, I like his entire evolution line. Movesets, gods like Dragonite. It's just a roulette of what you're going to get. And then there's just its Pokedex description, like Giratina's. It has one word to describe it, which just makes it sound badass, being Havoc. And that... What other Pokemon do you have that has a description about it, saying, the insert word here Pokemon? That makes it sound amazing. There's Hydreigon, Giratina. I'm tempted to say maybe... I can't think of any, because there's just... only 2 good descriptions that I can think of. There's Arceus, which is the alpha Pokemon. Wait, is it alpha? Not sure. Yeah, I generally can't remember any other descriptions for the other ones. But there's stuff like the feeling Pokemon, the emotion Pokemon, and which don't sound. There's the electric mouse Pokemon, obviously being Pikachu, but Giratina's and Hydreigons are the ones that stick out the most for me, and is one of the main reasons why I like them. Moving on to number 2, we have Haxorus. Fancy that, a non-pseudo-legendary beaten a pseudo-legendary. 3 of them! 3 of them! 3 pseudo-legendaries Haxorus has beaten. Haxorus, its shiny is actually really good. That's probably because it's black, but that's not any slurs or anything. But but it does look amazing with that hint of red on the tip of its blades or tusks. I'm not even sure what it is anymore. And then it's just its design is amazing, regular or shiny. I prefer the shiny though. Its moveset is good. Its stats aren't great, but it's not a pseudo legendary, so it's not really that big of a deal. And then there's what was the other reason? Its evolution method. Like I said, like with Tyrantrum, it's a rather early evolution method, so it's a rather early level to evolve it, making it a very quick, very weak-ish Pokemon at the start of the game, going into one of the strongest, and maybe be pushed down a bit, but not as far as it was when it was the weakest, which is great. Everyone loves the Haxorus. Everyone loves the Dragon type, really. What else can I say about this Pokemon? It's absolutely amazing. That's all I can say. There's really nothing else to say. I think I said all I can say about it, with its design being amazing, and the fact that it means business. Its stats are okay for what kind of Pokemon it is, but I'm not going to argue. It's absolutely great. And then number 1. if you've been keeping track of the dragon types being mentioned, you're probably thinking, okay, this is either going to be Garchomp or Salamence, because those are the only two good dragon types left. And you're right, it's one of them. Here's a hint, it's a pseudo-legendary. Oh wait, they're both pseudo-legendaries. Okay then, well, I'll answer you with this. I hate Salamence. That word was probably going to be the hardest one to say, because Salamence is probably one of my least favourite dragon types. Not as bad as Druddigon, but it is up there as probably one of the worst dragon types to ever crawl on my screen. And that's mainly due to the bad experiences out of it against some friends using it, especially the same guy which has that Zekrom. Because his one has Moxie, and he chose to add insult to injury by giving it a choice scarf, which raises its speed. Which makes it impossible to outspeed unless I give my Pokemon a choice scarf. But if I do that, I'm screwed, because he would send out a Pokemon that resists that move. And I hate switching out. So yeah, that is just the Salamence for you. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Number one is Garchomp. Not the greatest shiny to walk on our screens. Not the greatest Mega either. But it's still a great Pokemon regardless. I've rarely had any problems with Garchomp where I'm like, oh my god, I hate this Pokemon. With the exception of Cynthia's Garchomp. I know, it may cause some rage. But, can I just say, just because it caused some rage doesn't mean it's a terrible Pokemon. It's still a good Pokemon. Just not when you're against one. Or in Lucas's case, two. But, I'm not going to let that slide. The fact I got 2 Garchomps in one battle. But it's still great regardless. Garchomp, design, amazing. Just ignore the Mega. It does have a Mega, which isn't great, but I need to stop talking about that Mega. Moveset is amazing, and the fact it's one of the strongest Pokemon that's a non-legendary to ever walk on the Pokemon world is probably one of the reasons why I like it. Because there's different kinds of Pokemon fans out there. Ones that prefer cute or adorable looking Pokemon. And the other side where it's like, okay, I only choose the strong looking ones, or the actual strong ones. That, me being on this side. Being Garchomp. Garchomp, Haxorus, Hydreigon, Flygon. They're all strong Pokemon. But Garchomp is the best. With its stats being the most evenly spread out of all of them. True, it can't take an Ice type attack for anything. But that's not a major problem, because you only need to be careful of water types then. Because who would actually use an Ice type in a battle? Because Ice types are known for being a weak type. So, yeah, that's why Garchomp's number 1. And that's my top 10 favourite Dragon types. If you disagree with me, I don't care. It's my opinion. I will say, though, if you'd like to share your opinion in the comment, feel free to share your opinions in the comments below. Man, I wish I could talk. Leaving your top 10, top 5, or even top 3. I will still read it. I'll still read it, and maybe give my opinion on it. Go like, okay, that's good. And maybe explain why they're there. Because you could say that Salamence is like number 1. And coming from a Garchomp lover and a Salamence hater, I'll probably be like, I'm a bit confused, but okay. But if you give a reason why, then maybe I'll like it. I guess have some appreciation for it. But right now, according to some recent battles, I hate Salamence. And if you remember from the top 10 favourite Pokemon, top Pokemon of each type video that I did with Reese, you know that me and Reese kind of butt heads against Dragon types over here. Because he likes Salamence the most, I like Garchomp the most. And Then there's Lucas just in between both of us saying, well, I like Garchomp for the dragon types, but I like Salamence for the flying types. I don't know what to do. And then there's Brandon. I don't even know what his opinion on this is. I think his favourite dragon type is Garchomp, but I'm not actually sure. I need to go and check with him, but that will be a story for another day. That is actually all for this time. Man, 30 minutes. This long on the dark side one. So if you liked what you heard, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below. I'm not going to salute to say goodbye to you because I got in a bit of an accident earlier this week, hence the tragic week I said at the start of this video. So I'll see you next time.